And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our post-debate coverage. The Republican presidential debate in Las Vegas has wrapped up, and we are bringing you our post-debate analysis. And joining me right now, I'm very happy to say, is Newsmax TV political analyst, presidential strategist, and best-selling author of Power Grab, Dick Morris. Hello, Dick.
Hey, good to be here with you.
Good to talk to you, sir.
Hi.
So, your assessment of what we saw?
Well, I thought you have to look at this debate in the context of how the race is shaping up. It's shaping up now as a fight among Trump, Rubio, and Cruz, with Carson fading and Bush trying to get back in. I think that Cruz was the big winner tonight. I think he was terrific in his speeches. He was aggressive, forceful, and really hit it out of the park 3 or 4 times. I thought Trump did very well, not as well as Cruz. But I think he clearly held his own and showed people why he is so popular. I thought Rubio was the big loser. I think he got clobbered in the debate with Cruz and in the debate with Rand Paul. Now, beyond that, I think Carson did better in showing himself to be more knowledgeable about foreign affairs and somewhat tougher, but he can't make the grade with the ISIS issue. The ISIS issue is killing Carson because people just don't see the strength in him that they want. Since strength is at a premium, I think Christie helped himself tonight. And it is possible, given how pathetic Bush's performance was and how Rubio got lost those debates, that Christie could emerge as the establishment alternative to Trump and Cruz, although his answer about shooting down a Russian plane was troubling and could really hurt him. So, in summary, I think Cruz and Christie helped themselves the most. I thought Rubio and Bush hurt themselves the most.
And along those lines, Trump, who of course is the national front runner, did he do enough either damage or good to affect his standings in the polls significantly?
Yeah, I think that in the polling after this, you're going to see Cruz probably moving into at least a tie for first place with Trump. And you'll see Rubio falling into single digits alongside Bush and Kasich and all of the others. And you'll see Christie move up a little bit. And you'll continue to see Carson dropping. And most of the votes Carson releases go directly to Cruz.
Carly Fiorina, she had a couple of interesting things to say. She certainly has a grasp of knowledge on the issues. I don't think anybody could deny that. She also did 2 things. She attacked Trump out of turn by saying that when Trump said he wished that all the money we spent on the wars, the trillions in the Middle East, we used on our crumbling infrastructure. And she said that's what the president says. That's what Obama says. She also was the only one really, and I think this is very important, to say that ISIS was created by Hillary and Barack Obama by withdrawing prematurely totally from Iraq. And everybody else is blaming Assad, they're blaming Iran, they're blaming Russia, they're blaming this. And she is the only one who said what I think needs to be said. How do you think Carly is going to emerge from this?
I agree particularly with the second point you made, that she's really blaming it on Clinton and Obama, and I think that's very appropriate. But I think that overall, Christie probably helped herself. She probably got more favorability. She got more of a substantive underpinning to the record. But I don't think that she's in this race for president. I think by now people have basically, even if CNN hasn't done it, people themselves have basically decided who's in the race and who's out of the race. And Kasich and Christie and Fiorina and Rand Paul and Bush are basically out of the race. And the people who are in the race are Trump, Cruz, Rubio, at the moment Carson.
Yeah, I agree with you on all that, Dick. Let's bring in J.D. Hayworth, of course, host of Newsmax Prime. J.D. Joining us now with Dick Morris. You've been on since for about 45 minutes now. So tell the folks what you thought happened tonight, and who do you think won, and who do you think hurt themselves?
Well, Steve and Dick, I thought it was interesting tonight. And I'm not a real Chris Christie fan in terms of his policy on immigration, but I thought he was effective not only in addressing the camera, but what he did tonight to pull a rhetorical pivot where he complained about the Senate type debate. And I think there's a danger for both Cruz and Rubio. Yes, it was a debate, but you have to be careful in a televised debate when you're running for president not to take on the minutia of a debate on the floor of the United States Senate. So Christie was able to pivot and say, oh, look, your eyes glaze over when you hear these guys who are in the Senate. They don't make decisions. I make decisions. I've been a prosecutor, and I'm looking straight at you. I think that was very effective. And indeed, if you take a look at the guy who could be the comeback candidate, remember, in the last debate, Chris Christie had been relegated to the kids' table, but he gets the endorsement of the New Hampshire the Manchester Union leader. He gets to the main stage tonight, and he was very effective at that pivot. Having said that, I concur with Dick. I really like what Ted Cruz has to say, but I believe Rubio is very facile, very telegenic, and while he doesn't come up with a lot of new things to say, his fluency, the fact that he articulates the issues very well and comes across well on television, I don't know that we're going to see him fade. I think this Cruz-Rubio battle may continue, but again, there was Donald Trump, comparatively calm, above the fray, and as you mentioned earlier, Steve, casting his lot first, last, and always as a Republican. And why not? He's the front runner.
Dick, let me ask you about the Cruz versus Rubio situation, especially on immigration. It got pretty heated.
I think we have to realize that in the last 2 weeks, Cruz has moved up by about 8 or 9 points, and Rubio has moved down by 5 or 6 points. It used to be Rubio was ahead, then it was tied, then it was Cruz slightly ahead, now it's Cruz significantly ahead. And I expect that trend will continue. I think that J.D. Hayworth was prescient in understanding years ago that amnesty would be the most important issue in the Republican Party, and it has become that. And Rubio cannot overcome his defeat on that issue.